Now a question. When kindness turns against you? Kindness. It's praised as one of the highest virtues, something that defines our humanity. We're taught that kindness holds society together, that being kind makes us good. But the Stoics urge us to look deeper. What if kindness, when taken too far, becomes a silent destroyer? What if it turns into a habit of self-erasure? When kindness lacks limits, it stops being a virtue. It becomes a weakness that others exploit, and one that leaves you hollow. Not because kindness is wrong, but because unchecked kindness leads to self-destruction. Kindness without reason isn't noble, it's surrender. And in a world that doesn't always reward good intentions, that kind of surrender can ruin you. One number. When kindness becomes a burden. Imagine someone who gives constantly, always helping, always saying yes. They put others before themselves, day after day, year after year. On the surface it looks virtuous, but deep down that person begins to feel invisible, exhausted, forgotten. Why? Because they've poured out so much, they have nothing left. The Stoics remind us that every virtue must be balanced by reason. Even kindness. Without moderation, kindness becomes a burden, a silent weight you carry until it breaks you. True virtue should strengthen you, not drain you. And if your goodness is leaving you empty, it's no longer kindness. It's self-neglect in disguise. 2 now. The hollowing effect of unchecked generosity. There's a man with a generous heart. He serves, he sacrifices, he puts the needs of others before his own, because that's what he was taught was right. But slowly he loses something important, his spark, his purpose, his identity. He forgets what brings him joy, what he needs to feel whole. The Stoics would say he has lost the balance between duty to others and duty to self, because generosity, when it lacks boundaries, hollows a person out. You can't build a meaningful life on empty. You must start with a strong center, and that means taking care of your own soul too. 3 supper. Virtue without wisdom is dangerous. Stoicism teaches that wisdom must guide all virtues. Without it, even good things become harmful. If kindness becomes your only compass, you will lose your way. Not everyone deserves your energy, and not every situation calls for softness. Sometimes the kindest act is restraint. Sometimes kindness is quiet firmness, saying no when it's easier to say yes. Stoic kindness is not naive. It is clear-eyed and grounded. It chooses to act with both heart and mind. Because virtue without wisdom is not virtue at all. It is an open door to harm, both to yourself and to others. The world will take if you let it. The world isn't always fair, and people aren't always kind. Some will take your generosity as a sign of weakness. They will smile, nod, and keep taking, until there's nothing left of you. This is the reality the Stoics prepared for. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Let that guide your kindness. If helping someone is hurting you, it's not right. If your kindness encourages bad behavior, it's not true kindness. Goodness must be rooted in wisdom. Otherwise, it's not strength, it's surrender. Saying no is a Stoic skill. We often feel guilty saying no, afraid to disappoint, conditioned to believe that kindness means always being available. But the Stoics knew that boundaries are a form of love. Love for yourself and even for others. Because when you say yes to everything, you're slowly saying no to your own well-being. You lose clarity. You become reactive, not intentional. Saying no, when done with honesty and respect, is an act of self-command. It protects your energy. It makes your yes more meaningful. The wise know when to give and when to stop. That is true generosity. 6 heart. Don't live for approval. Many people live for the approval of others. They shape their lives around being accepted, liked, or praised. But that's not strength, it's dependence. Epictetus reminds us, you are only in control of your own thoughts and actions. When you let others dictate how you live, you've surrendered that control. You become a reflection of their needs, not your own truth. Kindness without self-ownership becomes manipulation of yourself. To be truly kind, you must first be free. You must know who you are and where your boundaries begin. 7. Real strength is found in boundaries. They are foundations. There is no strength in endless giving. There is no wisdom in allowing yourself to be used. True strength is measured by your ability to say, this is enough. Boundaries are not barriers. They are foundations. They help you protect what matters most. Your clarity, your peace, your sense of self. The Stoics teach us that a life of virtue is a life of discipline. And discipline includes knowing when to withdraw, when to pause, when to hold your kindness for those who are ready to receive it with respect. 8. Kindness that honors both sides. Kindness should not cost you your peace. It should not break your back. It should not ask you to abandon your dignity. True kindness respects both the giver and the receiver. It lifts both sides. But when kindness becomes martyrdom, it turns corrosive. The Stoics teach us that compassion must walk hand in hand with clarity. Like a ship needs a compass, kindness needs direction. Without it, we drift, we drown. But with it, kindness becomes a powerful force, measured, focused, unshakable. 9. Final thought. Be kind, be strong, be stoic. Be kind, but not at the cost of your soul. Be generous, but not until you are depleted. Love others, but never forget to love yourself. That's not selfish, it's essential. A life of virtue isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about living with wisdom, balance, and inner strength. Let your kindness be guided by purpose. Let it reflect your discipline, not your fear. That is the Stoic way. And that is the path toward a life that is not just good, but deeply meaningful. If this message spoke to you, give this video a like. It helps spread Stoic wisdom to those who need it. Leave a comment. How do you protect your kindness without losing it? And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom today for more weekly reflections to help you live deeper, calmer, and stronger, one Stoic principle at a time. Be kind, be strong, be Stoic.